Yo guys, it's your boy Yellow, the Norwegian hardcore PC gamer, and today I figured that we should take a look at two gameplays, and instead of just taking a look at what I'm doing here solo rushing around with an MP9 and stuff, we should talk about return fragging. I've covered this subject once before, but the video didn't get too much exposure, and that is aside from the subject being incredibly important, because towards a middle or higher level skill in this game, it is going to be an invaluable tool that you must be able to do at least a couple of times if you want to be able to change the tides of a game. Now, quickly about these gameplays, this is me playing at Lemma rank, but keep in mind that most of the people I was facing or had on my team were at Supreme, and I'm currently, by the way, Supreme rank, so you people will eventually see gameplays of that and then eventually global, so yeah, enjoy the carnage, I guess. But then again, let's go back to return fragging. It's very important to do because in many maps, if the enemy team get to keep a key position of a map, they will get invaluable information. They will get information that will pretty much determine what is going on. Minor examples would, for example, be to own drop down here, as I'm here contesting like a moron. Many pro teams don't need to or want to do that pretty much because it's a very annoying place to keep, and there aren't too many strategies that would allow you to safely, in a tactical sound manner, keep this area because of grenades and molotovs and all that kind of stuff. So you take just way too much damage, and it's not normally something sound. However, if you're able to take it, you might want to return frag. However, in terms of drop, it's a very bad example because you just gotta be cheeky and quick. As you can see here, I jumped through. Instead, you would like to take areas where you and a buddy can quickly enter and you can take on a gunfight. A good example here would obviously then be long on B, on cobblestone here. So you and your buddy, let's say that you are on the CT side and you really want to contest a single guy that you guys know are playing the long side on B passively. He's standing there with his AK, you and your buddy got M4s and you're now running in. So how return killing goes is that both of you are committing to this gunfight, and you're almost 100% sure, both of you, that there's going to be a guy here. Now, the point of the gunfight is not only for both of you to try and kill this enemy guy, meaning that since two of you are shooting on him, he'll probably die twice as fast, or at least, unless RNG doesn't punish you, and the bullet actually hit, he might die so fast that you won't take any damage. But all that aside, the point is that even if he's able to camp you guys down, hold stuff passively, and kill one of you, your buddy will kill him. Unless he's incredibly lucky or very skilled, which can happen, obviously, and it does happen in some scenarios. But the point here and the framework around this is that regardless of what happens, because you got better numbers and because both of you are going in for this gunfight, you will most likely be able to not just kill the guy, but also take a very valuable section of the map. And that means that the chess piece that you can see top left, that is the map. Now suddenly you are owning more of the map than the enemy, and that means that you can predict more accurately where the enemies may or may not go, which is very important, especially if you got people that actively communicate and also want to, you know, win, thus meaning that, you know, you gotta try and set yourself up so that the enemy team won't get a drop on the site, for example. As I here go for a lovely little 1v4, let's see how it goes. But yeah, like that is a general principle how return fragging goes in Counter-Strike, but keep in mind that like this can easily be interchanged and you can almost mix it up with like entry fragging, which normally is like the guy that goes in first. He can or cannot, or like it depends on time and place, but he can do this alone, solo, or he can do it with a buddy, thus meaning that it becomes like return fragging almost. But it also, keep in mind that it kind of depends on time and place, because in many scenarios, it won't even be viable, or it will be very impossible, or it will be easily punishable to try and execute return fragging, which is why there are two other nuances to what is going down here, as I dink this guy here. I just love the slow-mo sound of the dink there. But yeah, two other alternate things that you gotta really be careful about when it comes down to return fragging is, number one, if you're facing an op, or if you're facing somebody that are highly skilled at the game. If they're highly skilled, they're gonna take an angle, they're gonna take a position that is so passive, he can instantly get into cover. And if that happens, that means that you and your buddy attacking, you might have been able to take the place on the map, but they can return with their own return fragging, or they can, you know, grenade in, or if worst comes to worst, you never got to kill the guy, and they might just try and roll in later with even more people, which is going to be a pain in the ass, obviously. But yeah, that is me alluding to the number two thing. Return fragging does not need to just be two people going into a site. It can be 3 or 4 people, and I know that Astralis actually used to do this in the past a couple of times, especially also on this map. 3 people rushing out, taking a good position. The same we also see in Luminosity, which is currently named SK, doing as well. And the same also comes down to Fnatic. All these teams, by the way, have more or less been incredibly skilled as of late, so it kind of sort of sets a nice little testament to how useful this as a way of playing the game can and will be. But all that aside, the point here is that, like, yeah, you can also do that if you truly want to maybe counter it, or if there's some certain position that you know the enemy is way too good at to try and counter that. You can even do this in eco rounds just by throwing grenades. I mean, that's commonly done on a nuke in the yard, or at least it was in the past. Not too much anymore. But yeah, the last thing I also want to point out here is not just that the AWP is incredibly strong against these kind of things, because you can just shoot one bullet and run away, but also on pistol rounds. On pistol rounds, you'll notice that, like, one guy can easily tap many people down, which is why the return frag concept, it doesn't really manifest itself too well in those situations, which is why you need to be incredibly mobile. You almost gotta jump around corners, and you preferably would like to be more people rather than less if you want to get proper return fragging on pistol rounds. This is something that many people at the higher skill ranks in regular matchmaking take for granted on pistol rounds, especially as terrorists, because they don't have range on their pistols, so they need to not just get close, but all of them gotta try and shoot a target at the same time to be able to just quickly make them not be able to just one-tap you, because the pistols on CT side are that powerful, which, I mean, as its own little sub-game of the game itself, or meta-game, it works out, as I had to knife the guy because I fell with a pistol. Don't 3-burst, it just almost never works. But anyways, yeah, you people can probably thus understand that if you really want to get better at this game, you gotta not just practice at everything else, you also gotta try and execute a couple of more high-level, high-octane, quick-paced moves in the game that will hopefully eventually allow you to be a very, very sinister bastard that will just reload the enemy team. And in the best scenarios, you'll probably just dominate the enemy team. But then again, it requires teamwork, it requires a gaming relationship, so you people gotta go out there and be a little bit more sociable and be nice, and it will probably eventually go in the right direction rather than, you know, being the guys that just get dominated all the time, right? So anyways, thanks for watching. This is video 1 of 2. In the next video, I'll show you people very, very many nifty examples of how you can do these things, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, stay tuned for that. You should probably subscribe for that as well. If you want to support me, you can take a look at these 2 videos, or follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or Twitch. I can now stream, by the way, so you people can get to see me play and slay people live as the monster I can and want to be. Yeah, so anyways, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all the Patreons. Have a nice day, and don't get beastified when you play.